I recently read an article, which I'll link to in the description below, about 3 things causing pre-retirees, those in their late 50s, to freak out. And now, after reading the article, these 3 things could actually be stress on anybody within 10 years of retirement or already retired. And you see, the 3 things actually had nothing to do with how much they had saved up. Instead, the 3 things had everything to do with what could happen to what they had saved up and how that could impact them and their retirement. So today we're going to talk about these 3 stressors, how they could impact what you have saved and therefore impact your retirement. And then we're going to talk about ways and strategies to reduce or eliminate these 3 things. For those new to our channel, my name is Scott Sierens. I run a retirement planning and investment management firm where we help families and individuals, people just like you, understand when they can retire, how much they can spend in retirement, how to reduce the taxes on their IRAs and 401ks. If you need help maximizing your retirement story, you can go to lifemoneyshow.com and click on the Work With Us tab. So the first stressor of what could impact the retirement savings was the unpredictability of the stock market. You see, I understand the stock market each and every day can go up, can go down, can go up, go down each and every month, up or down each and every quarter, up and down each and every year. It could be up or it could be down. And the stock market is unpredictable. Actually, and we're going to first talk about understanding this stress, but then we're going to talk about how do we help reduce or eliminate this stress when it comes to planning for your retirement. Take a look here. This is from JP Morgan Guide to the Markets. This is showing you annual returns and intra-year declines all the way back to 1980. So the bars on this chart here are the annual returns for that specific year. The red dots are the intra-year decline. So let's just take a look at last year, for example, there, 2023. It's showing that there's a 10% decline, but the actual return for that year was 24%. I'm saying all of this just to say we understand this stress. I can see how this could potentially be a stress because the market's doing different things throughout the year, throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the hour, throughout the year. The stock market, as the chart shows here, is very unpredictable. None of the bars here on the chart are the same. It's a different return every year, and some of the returns are negative. So knowing this and understanding this, how do we then help reduce or eliminate this stress when it comes to our retirement and our retirement savings? Because this could impact our retirement savings. And I think one of the big questions is, well, what if there's a crash right before my retirement? What about my savings? And then this big decline to my retirement savings. So think about this. Let's just look at your retirement savings in a big bucket here. And what we're used to is what's on that right-hand side there, being invested in the market. And yes, we still need to be invested in the market because we need growth in our accounts. But as you can see here, sometimes you're taking 3 steps forward to take 1 step backwards. So as we get near retirement, we need to start carving off some funds into what I'm going to call nickname our war chest, but basically funds that aren't subject to the same volatility as the overall equity market. So we might have some bond funds, we might have some buffer funds, but something that's just not subject to the same volatility that we were showing there on that JP Morgan Guide to the Markets. And I will link that in the description below, so that way you can go check out that website as well and see that chart. So the way to help reduce or eliminate this stress of the unpredictability of the market is having an investment strategy that aligns with your goals and your needs. How much do we need over here in our war chest? Well, that all depends on your income plan and when you're going to need to take money out. So that way you're starting to shift money over. So that way, if there is a crash, if there is a big decline, you've already shifted assets over. You've moved them into funds that are less volatile than the stock market. So you now have money to be able to take out as you need it as your retirement approaches. So having that strategy in place can really help reduce or eliminate the stress number one of the unpredictability of the market. So the second stress that it talked about people feeling about what could potentially impact their retirement savings. Again, not how much they have saved, but impacting what they had saved was inflation. The cost of goods and services going up over time. The cost of, what you might need today versus what it might be in the future could be completely different. And it could be a lot higher in the future than where we're at today. So that's the second thing that's really stressing people out. And I just want to give you some information around that here. Again, back to the JP Morgan Guide to the Markets. If you'll take a look, this is looking at inflation over a 50-year average. And so it's saying over 50 years, inflation has averaged just shy of 4%, meaning the cost of goods and services going up on average 4% each and every year. Now, again, that's on average, because if you look at the chart here, you'll see some years are higher and some years are lower. So what do we do about this to help reduce or eliminate this stress? Well, this is why we do need to have money invested in the equity or stock fund side of the market to help us keep up with and outpace inflation. You see, in my opinion, having money in savings and CDs, well, inflation might outpace what you're seeing as far as savings and CDs. I get it. Right now, the interest rates are high, so you're thinking, wait a second, my online savings account right now is doing better than inflation. Correct. But again, you have to think about over time. And we all know that right now that that's today's rates. However, rates will fluctuate. They could go up, but they could also go back down. I mean, we did see times as well where rates were really, really low and not outpacing inflation. So then there's having our money in bond and bond funds. So I just wanted to show you, I thought this would be helpful, again, from JP Morgan Guide to the Markets. If you look here at the chart on the kind of in the right-hand middle side, the chart there talking about stocks, bonds, it says stocks in green, bonds in blue. This is the annual average return since 1950 through 2023. If you take a look at bonds, it's showing 5.5%, stocks 11.2%. So what is all this to show and tell you? Well, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because you can see having your money in bond funds, or that left side of the retirement savings bucket that we just showed, you're kind of keeping pace with inflation, maybe outpacing it just a little bit, but that's all going to be based upon where rates might be at that point in time. But in my opinion, the best hedge for inflation to keep up and outpace it, making sure your money is growing in advance of it, is to have money in the stocks or stock funds. So if we go back, and again, this is to think about our last drawing there where we had your retirement savings bucket, and we had two sides to it. I know one of the stresses is the unpredictability of the market, but that's also why we need money on that side of the bucket, because we need to have money growing for your future and outpacing inflation. Whereas the other side of the bucket, again, that's carving off funds so you've got readily available income to take in the event of a market crash. So to help reduce or eliminate that second stressor of inflation, we need to have money growing for us on the equity side of the market to help outpace that as we go. All right, the third stressor of what could impact your retirement savings is rising healthcare costs in your upper 50s, or maybe you're in your 60s and you're at an age where you might be watching your parents' health decline, where either you're having to help take care of them, or maybe they're going into needing home health care or assisted living care or nursing facility, where these costs can be really impactful to somebody's retirement savings. I mean, you could be looking at $4,000 a month to upwards of $10,000 a month, potentially less, potentially more. I mean, that's $48,000 a year, or maybe if you had to go to a nursing home, upwards of $120,000 per year. So think about what you've saved up and how quickly it could disappear at $120,000 a year, $120,000 a year, $120,000 a year. And if there's two of you, that could be upwards of $200,000 $100,000 a year each and every year. So when it comes to rising healthcare costs, what are some things that we can do to help us, again, reduce or eliminate this stress of what could impact our retirement savings? Well, there's really two options when it comes to thinking about home care, assisted living facilities, and nursing homes. One option is self-insure. And what does that mean? Well, when I talk about self-insure, just kind of like I was showing there, that means you're going to take the money from your retirement savings to pay for any sort of these costs. So again, that's kind of what's causing people stress, right? You've got this retirement savings. Maybe you need home health care or have to go in a nursing home, and now it starts to disappear at $120,000 a year or whatever you have to pay out in regards to those costs. Or the second option is that you can transfer the risk. You transfer the risk to an insurance company, in which case now you need home health care, assisted living, or a nursing home. Now they're going to pay for some of the cost and you pay for some of the cost. You might decide to transfer some of the risk. You might decide to transfer all of the risk. But if this is a fear of yours of what could impact your retirement savings and impact your overall retirement, you may want to look into transferring the risk to help reduce or eliminate some of those fears. I hope that you found this video helpful in planning for your retirement. And if so, and you want to see additional videos just like this in regards to Social Security, retirement planning, how to reduce the taxes on your IRAs and 401ks, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel as we're coming out with new videos each and every week on retirement topics just like those. Thanks, and have a great day.